Day 25, and we are talking about immune function. Sometimes it might show up like you feel like you pick up everything that goes around and you have a harder time fighting off. But other times it means that your immune system just isn't reacting to things that it should be reacting to. A healthy immune system is going to turn on things like uh, for example, fever. That's going to shut down immune replication. It's going to cause inflammation. That's going to dampen the spread of pathogens and kill off microbes that we don't want spreading and replicating. If you never ever get sick, that could be a bad thing too, because it's allowing things to spread and replicate from bacterial overgrowth like SIBO in the gut to even cancer cells. And so we want to find this happy medium. For example, immunosuppressants, when somebody has autoimmune flares or something, we're putting on pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories that basically squash the immune system from any reaction. And that can be a bad thing. We want it to be balanced. And so one of the things that I look at, of course, it starts in the gut with secretory IgA or immunoglobulin A. 70% of our immune cells are produced by the intestinal epithelium. And that's why they say our immune system primarily lives in the gut. It's the first line of defense. And we can see if it's working really hard and it's really high, then your body is actively fighting something off. Usually it goes up for a while and then it drops back down. And then if it's low, it can often mean that there has been some kind of a long-term chronic infection that your immune system has been battling, and it just sort of gives up its little hands and throws them up in the air and stops responding. We want that happy medium, want it to react and then come back down. We already talked about inflammation going up as we age, as our hormones decline, our immune system can also decline. But there's a lot we can do to maximize it. Of course, gut health would be the first place to start, since we know 70% of the immune system lives in the gut. So eating an anti-inflammatory diet, Mediterranean style or autoimmune paleo style diet that is rich in protein, healthy fats, fiber, vibrantly colored veggies, herbs, spices, nuts, and seeds. Avoiding food sensitivities. If you know or suspect that there's a food that's triggering you or causing inflammation, avoid it for a while. Maybe pull it out for a few weeks to a couple of months and then slowly introduce them one at a time. It's called an elimination diet. And after the inflammation goes down, you'll notice a little bit more clearly if your body is responding. And it might show up with gut issues, might show up as a skin breakout, a headache, a whole or more joint pain. So a whole host of things. There's food sensitivity testing or an elimination diet that can help with that. Of course, deep quality restorative sleep. It's when our cells and our tissues, our skin and our brain and our immune system all rejuvenate and turn over and detoxify and clean house. If you're not getting 7 to 9 hours of deep restorative sleep, you're missing out on that reset button for your health and longevity and inflammation, which they call it inflammaging because that is one of the drivers. And if we can start to kind of play whack-a-mole and start putting out and identifying and putting out all the little sources of inflammation, from stealth infections to food sensitivities to environmental toxins and sluggish detox capacity or sluggish gallbladder or bile acid function, we're going to keep inflammation lower. Supplementing with liposomal glutathione and lots of cruciferous veggies, all things that are going to help our bodies do what it does best and bind, detoxify, remove, recover. And then, of course, looking at that gut barrier function, anything you can do to increase diversity, lower inflammation, heal and seal those tight junctions. Things like probiotics, things like resistant starch veggies and fiber, even colostrum or L-glutamine or butyrate can go a really long way in supporting your immune function and overall inflammation and aging.